Perfect. My assumption here is you've taken your time and you have come up with that database like this one. You have practiced designing tables and you've come up with these two tables. Now, I want us to go ahead and I want us to create a form for these two tables. And I want to show you how form works and how you can create a form for a given table, how the form works, and how you can add data in a table using a form. So let's get started. We already have our tables, so all we need to do now is add another object in this database, and we're going to add an object called a form. What's the purpose of a form? The purpose of a form is to view records in your database one at a time. For instance, let me open this database called students. When you open table called student, when you open a table, you are able to see all the data at once. And by the way, let me point out something here. From here, the whole of this is what we are calling a record. This is a record. From here, John, all the way up to the last data of John, we call that one a record. Now, origin is a field, gender is a field, course is a field, level is a field, but these are what we are called records. Okay, so how many records do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and how many fields do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So our table has 11 fields and 5 records. So do not confuse records with fields. Now, what we are keeping here is what we are calling data. So 2000 is a data. This name is a data. This phone number is a data. The name of the origin there, Kajiado, is a data. Nursing is a data. Diploma is a data. 60,000 is a data. This date is a data. But when you get all this data related to Laura or Jane or John or Peter, when you get all the data related to that specific student, then we create what we call a record. So the difference between a record, a field, and data. I just wanted to clarify that so you know. And all that is held in this table called students. And that table is created inside a database called Kenya Medical Training College. So database is the entire system. A table is an object inside that system. And fields and records and data, they are held within a table. All right. So what you notice that when you open a table, all you see is the entire records or all the records in that table. And now assume that we have up to thousands of records here. And I want to make some changes on one of the records. If I make those changes by opening the table and going to make those changes, for instance, if I want to change, maybe Peterson changed course from pharmacy to something else. So I have to open this table and make those changes. Since Laura, the record of Laura and the record of Moses down here are very close to the record of Peter, it's very easy when I intend to change Peterson to, by mistake or by error, change either Laura or change Moses, because they are very close together. So making some changes on a table directly may lead to some errors since the records are very close together. You want to have a screen that allows you to see one record at a time. If it's John, you can only see John. If it's Peterson, it's only Peterson. You cannot see Laura, you cannot see Moses. That way, you are able to make changes on Peterson without having to worry that you meant those changes on Laura or Moses or any other record that is close. And that's why we create a form. A form will enable us to view one record at a time. So when you are making changes, there are very minimal chances that we are going to change the wrong record while we intended to make those changes on another record. So how do we create a form? Let me close this table. Creating a form is easy. You go to create, and then you come here and you go to form wizard. Click form wizard, and you're going to get a wizard. Now a wizard is a step-by-step process. Okay, so the wizard is a feature that walks you step by step how to perform or how to carry out a specific task. In this case, our task is we want to create a form. Now a form should always be based on a given table. A form does not stand independently. It's based on a table. So we want to create a form, and we want the form to be based on the table students. So you click here, notice tables or queries. When you click here, it's going to show you all the tables that you have in your database. So if you have more than 2 tables, you're going to see all of them here. You pick the one for which you want to create a form. We want students, so I pick students, and then here the form will show you all the fields in the form that you've selected. So you can see these are all the fields that you find in student, 11 of them. Now in order for you to create a form, you are going to have to move this on the other side. You shift these fields, all of them, on the other side, right side. To do that, shift all of them, you click this double arrow, it will shift all of them. If you click this one, it's going to be shifting them one at a time, which is going to take a lot of time. So you click this one, and they're shifted on the other side. And then you click next. Remember, this is a wizard, we just followed step by step. You click next. Here, it's the layout, the way you want your form, the data in your form to be laid out. We have columnar, tabular, datasheet, justified. We are going to work with columnar. Columnar helps you to view data one at a time. Datasheet, the form will look just like table, and you'll be able to see all the records in that table at once. So we go with columnar, and then you click next. Here we are. Now what Access wants you to do is it wants you to give a name to your form, and you're going to call it students form. Okay, and then we click finish, and you wait, and here you are. So now what you are having here is a form, and this form is giving you data or a view of the records in your form. Okay, now it may not look that presentable because of the passport. Remember, we entered passport, and the passport occupies very big space, so it might look a little bit funny. Let's create another one for staff which does not have attachments. So I'm going to close this one. Let's create another form for staff. So we go to create menu, then you go to form wizard, and then in this case you don't want students, you want staff. So I'll click here, and I'm going to pick staff. Okay, and then you shift all those fields on the other side, and then you click next. We pick columnar, and then you click next, and then we are going to call this one staff form. Then you click finish, and you wait, and here you are. But now this one looks a little bit better because we don't have fields that are very long, because they are supposed to contain attachment or huge images. So now what you notice in this form is that you can only view one record at a time. This is the first record. This is Grace Molly, and all these are details about Grace Molly. You cannot see the details of any other stuff. Now down here, I want you to look at down here. you're going to see 1 of 5, which means this is the first record out of 5 records. So you can only see 1 record at a time. If you want to see the next record, you click this next button, and this is the staff number 2, who is Joseph Laitola. You click again, you see the next staff, and this is the staff number 5, Yego. Actually staff number 4, Yego. You click again, you see staff number you can click this one to go back. This is staff number 5. Yeah, staff number 5 is Yego, and we do not have any other staff. Okay, and you can use these ones to go back. Actually staff number 5 should be who is staff number 5? Staff number 5 is Roy Lamayan. So this staff number, this should be staff number 5, but be that as to may, these are the staff that you have. So you can always go back using this one, and then you'll be able to go back and forth. Now, so if I wanted to make changes on staff number 3, and I click here and I have 3 or 4, if I make changes here, I know I'm making changes on staff number 3. The rest of the staff are not very close to this one. They are actually not visible, so there's no way I can change this one, only to realize that I changed the one that I didn't want to. So form helps you to view record one at a time on a table. Now, we also said that form can help you add more records in a table. Currently we have 5 staffs. Let's add 1 more staff using this form, or 2 more staff using this form. Let's see how that one works. So I'm going to click here until I get to the last staff, then I continue, and then there's nothing here. So I'm going to add a new staff here, and so let's start with the staff number. Once we add a staff here, they will be added on the table called staff directly. So let's say this is a P. This should be 60605. Okay, and the name of this staff is Paul Lukoka, and ID number and then we have contact, the number, and then we have email. This is Paul K at yahoo.com, and then department, Paul is in the department of nursing department, and then position, Paul is a lecturer. Actually, let's say Paul is in the laboratory department. Paul is in the laboratory. Great. That is it. We want to add 1 more. Remember, initially we had 5, we want to have 7 staff. So I'll click next, then you're going to add 1 more, and this is going to be N. And this is going to be Newton. Henry, and Newton ID, Newton number, and then we have email, newton@gmail.com. Department, Newton is in the department of it's also in the laboratory department. And Newton is the deputy, is the HOD in that department. So now when we close this form and then we go into we open the staff table, we will realize that 2 more staffs have been added. Let's do it. When I close this, let's open the staff, because the form was for the staffs. Double click staff, and you notice now 2 more have been added. We have Paul Lukoka and we have Newton. They have been added here. So that is how you add your that is how you use a form to add data in your table. So oftentimes you're not going to be working with the table, you're going to be working with the form. Once you create the table for the first time, the rest of your interaction with what is that table is probably going to be your form, because using your form, let me open this form, using your form, it's very easy to do anything that you want. You can also make some changes in that form. For instance, let's say I want to change one of the records, and let's just go back to record number 4. Let's go to record number 4. Let's say, okay, Newton is in the record number. Okay, let's do something here. Let's say I want to change Lukoka is currently in the laboratory, but what if we shift Lukoka's department from laboratory to another department, and you want to update those changes in your database so that you know exactly where this specific stuff is. So all you need to do is you go to the form for the stuff, you open the form, you look for the specific stuff or specific record, in this case Modoka, or rather a Lukoka or Paul, and then you go to the department and you want to change the department from laboratory to something like let's switch this department to, we had dental, we are going to have emergency. Okay, so we have shifted this to emergency. Now when we open the staff table, we should find those updates already implemented. So let's close this one, let's open staff, let's look for Paul, and then notice now the department has changed to emergency. So let me close this table, let me open the form. So that is another way in which we use a form. We use a form to update or edit records in a table. We use a form to enter records in a table. We use a form to view records in a table, and we can use a form to delete records in a table. If I want to delete a certain record completely from that table, I can delete that table from this form. If I delete from this form, it will be deleted from that table. Let's do it. Let's delete one of the records here. So I'm going to shift, I want to delete the record for who. Let's pick one of these stuff. Moving along, I want to pick one stuff and I want to delete their records. Let's delete Little, the pharmacy department. All I need to do is I click here, I delete that, I click here, Okay, delete that. Then I close. Then I open stuff. Notice what I deleted is here. It's been already deleted. If I wanted to delete everything, I could delete everything, and this record will be completely gone. So any changes that you make on the form, any up that you make on the form, they'll be made on the table. So let's go back to the form. Let's make sure that these records are restored back. So we go back to form. I'll close this table. Let's go back to form, and let's make sure that those records are restored back. And this was it. So let's say this was pharmacy, if I'm not wrong, and the position can't remember, but let me assume was the lecturer. Great. And now they are restored. And then you can close them. Now, same case, you can open student form, and you can add some changes here on this form, and those changes will be added on the other side. For instance, we have five records. If I click next and I go all the way up to the last record, and then here I can add a new record, and this is student. What you notice is the arrangement here does not look that nice. We even have these labels here, they are blocked. You can rearrange your form and make it look even better. So how do you do it? You can redesign it to look better than this. How do you do it? First of all, you close. You open that form in the design view. Okay, so how do you do that? Come to the form, right click, then click design view. And this is your form in the design view. This is how your form looks like. We can close this small window here. So this is how your form looks like, and you can rearrange it the way you want to look even better. So how do you do that? First of all, you come at this edge here, and your mouse pointer will change into a double arrow, point the opposite direction, meaning if you click and drag, you can resize your form. So I'm holding down the left mouse button, I'm dragging to resize my form, and now I have it. It looks now much better. We want to see how we can improve how these forms looks like. Now we can start by resizing this. This is the part, or this is the element that holds the passport. How about if we pull it backward a little bit, upward a little bit, just using the techniques we used to resize images, maybe up to that point. Okay, you have to do the same for this one. You come down somewhere here, you look at the handle where it is, you click, and then you pull it up. Let's have it look more organized up to that line. We do for this one, pull it up, and then we do for this one, pull it up. Okay, and then you might want to pull it a bit. Great. Which other one? This one. We also do for this one. Scroll up. Let's to give it better arrangement, pull it up to that point. Great. You click this one, and then you pull it up to that point. Great. You click this one, then you pull it up to that point. Great. Looks a little bit better. Let's see how it looks like. Let's close it. Let's save the changes. Let's open it. Double click. See, now it looks much more better. Okay. Now we don't actually need all this. We only need this because we only have one passport here. So we're going to design and delete all this because these ones, they are not holding any information that we need. Okay, so let's close it. Right click it, click design view, and the only one that holds anything here, let's see which one holds data. Might be very difficult to figure out. Let's close this table. Let's try to, let's see that we can delete from here. Right click, sorry, double click. Let's see that we can delete this one from here by clicking, then you press delete. Okay, we are not able to delete it from here. So let's close it again. Click design view. Right click design view. Let's say we want to how about to delete this one? It doesn't seem to hold anything. This one seems to hold because you can see passport file. That one seems to hold information. So let's close and see what has happened. Save yes to save the changes. Double click it. Alright, we seem to have deleted the one that held the information that we needed. So let's close. Let's open this table. Great. So let's create another form. Let's delete this form. Click the form, delete, click yes. Let's create another form for this for this table called students. So we go to create form wizard. We choose students, then we shift them, and then next columnar, next students form, and then finish is the form. Let's close it. Right click it, open in the design view, and let's remove all this. Let's remove all this. And let's retain this. Move it up somewhere there. We can move it sideways to somewhere there. Let's see how this one will look like. Let's close it. Save the changes yes. Let's open it by double clicking. Okay, this one looks much better. But now we might have a problem. Let's see. If I click next, let's see what we see. Great, this one now looks better. Okay, so we had only one passport, so the rest of what was here was not really that necessary, and we can now even arrange it and make it look even better. So let's do that. Let's close it. Let's go to the design, go to the form, right click, design view. Let's do a proper arrangement. Let's click this image, and then with your mouse pointer, it currently looks like the mouse pointer has 4 arrows pointing to the opposite direction. You click and then you hold down, then you drag this. We want to position it where we want. Let's position this one somewhere here. Okay, I want to position somewhere there. We also want to position these ones. We want them to look much more better and well arranged than they are. So what we are going to do is going to click this one, hold down the left mouse button, and we are going to move it to that point. We want to arrange our form to look much better. We align it right there, and you do the same with this one. You click, you drag it, you align it right there. Let's drag and align all of them right here. So I want you to hold down the shift key. Let me pull my keyboard and show you what I want us to do. I want you to hold down the shift key. So click the shift key, holding it down. I will come and click all of this, all of them. Click this one to deselect. You are holding down the shift key, do not release it. Select all of this, all of them, and then drag, holding down the shift key, drag them, drag the mouse. Okay, that may not work, so I wanted us to drag all of them. Great, it will work. This is what you do. We want to select all of them, and then we want to drag all of them and align them here, okay, so that they seem well arranged. So to do that, let me put back my keyboard. You press the shift key on your keyboard, press the shift key on your keyboard, and then select all of them. We want that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and this one. Once you have selected them, you can release the shift key now. Now hold down the left mouse button, click and hold it down, then you drag. You'll be able to move them. Drag them up to that point. You want to make sure they align there, then you release, then you click away. Let me pull down this keyboard. So now these seem to be all here at this point, but we want to stretch some of them, like date. It's here and we want to pull it up to this point. So you click date, you come to where we have this arrow, you pull it a little bit, drag it, holding the left mouse button, there it is. You click contact, position your mouse pointer where we have that handle, click and hold down the left mouse button, pull it a bit. Great. Now all these are aligned here, but then you want also to resize this one, student. So you click student. Actually, let's start with the student, and then you pull it a little bit back. You are dragging it to somewhere there. You click admission number, pull admission back to somewhere there. You click contact, pull it back to somewhere there. You click email, pull it back to somewhere there. You click origin, pull it back. You want them to align. You have course, pull back course, there. You have level, pull back level to somewhere there. Remember, we want to design and have the form look much more better. Somewhere there we have admission, pull it back somewhere there. It's a better arrangement. Now we also want to, let's click admission number and pull it back to align with student name. Okay, make sure they are aligned. I think that is great. Click admission number here and pull it back to align with student. Great. This is now much more better arrangement. You want to click the gender and drag it a little bit to align with the rest. You click this button, or rather this checkbox here, and you can pull it to be somewhere here. Then you click the gender and you pull it back to that point. Come here, click here and pull it back to align right there. Notice now we are giving it a better arrangement. Click origin, and it seems to have, it's wider than the rest. You want to come to this handle right here and pull it back a little bit, maybe up to that point. Do the same with the course, pull it back a little bit at that point. Do the same with the label, pull it back a little bit up to that point. Great. It looks now way much more better. Name, click name, move your mouse pointer to this arrow here and pull it back a little bit. You want to have all the width almost the same. Alright, I think now it will look much more better than it looked before. Great, let's now close this one and see what we have. You say yes to save the changes, and then you open the form. Here you are. Now notice now it looks way much more better. You can see student name and all the information is available, and here they are arranged way much more better. This one, notice the passport is blocked, so you may need to redesign or rearrange this one so you can see the entire label passport. Let's close. Open the design view, right click, design view. All you need to do is you need to click this, holding down the leftmost button, drag it a little bit, somewhere there, and then you click this passport label, position your mouse pointer at that handle and then pull it back until you see the full name up to that point. Great, now you can see the full name passport. Let's actually pull it back up to that point. Now we can click this one and pull it back a little. Probably up to that point. Now our table looks way much more better. You can space them, you can space up all these labels. You can space up if you think they are very close together, like admission and conduct, they seem to be very close together. So I can press, I'll select that one, then I'll click down shift, I'll hold down shift so that I can select this one. Sorry, I'll select this one, hold down shift on my keyboard so that I can select this one, and then I can drag this one a little bit upward. Okay, I'm dragging up to that point so that the spacing here, they are not very close. I can also select this one. I hold down shift, I select origin, and then I pull them down a bit. Okay, I can click this one and resize it from the label to align in the other one. Great. And now we can pull address a little bit down so that the space in between contact and address is big enough. So select address, hold down shift, select my email address, and then click and drag down just one step there. Great. This is now better arrangement. Let's also arrange this one. I can click this. Actually, I can click click fee, hold down shift key, click fee label, move them a little bit upward right there, and now we have better arrangement. Let's click course, let's reduce the width a little bit, yeah, like that. Level, let's reduce the width a little bit. Great. And now our form should look way much more better. So you close it, save yes to save the changes, and then you open the form. There you are. Now your form looks way much more well arranged, and that is how you do it. Now remember, you can reshuffle your form and you can rearrange it the way you want. All you need to do is go to the design and you can make those changes. Let's do final one on redesigning that form. Close the form, right click, click design view. Let's see whether we can move this passport down here. Okay, you click and drag it there, and then it will move together with the label, so we may not be able to do that. So use undo, this undo, to restore it back where it was. Great. So now that is it. We have our form. That is how our form looks like. Close. Save the changes. Open the form by double clicking. Here you are. So you can see the first record. You click next to see the next record, and then the next record, and then the next record, and then the next record. If you have true passport of the student, they will be appearing here as you move along. Okay, so you can create a form that will show you all the details of your student. Any changes that you make here will be implemented on the table. Let's add one more student here. Currently we have 5 students in our table. Let's add one more. Let's see whether that one more student will be added on the table. So we click next until we come to the end here. Notice we are using this next and previous buttons to be able to move along and navigate along the records in our table. So we click next, and then next, and then next, and then next until we have nothing here. So let's add a new student, and this student is going to be called Rachel, and Rachel has admission number. Okay, let's look the previous admission number here. Previously 204, so Rachel is going to be 205. So Rachel is 205, and this is the contact for Rachel. And we have email address. Email address is Rachel at gmail.com. Rachel comes from water. Comes from water. And gender, we leave it unchecked because she is doing food and beverage. So the food and beverage. Level, she's doing it at a diploma level. And fees, she's paying 49,000. Admission date, click here. She was admitted on 26th on a Friday. Right now, if you want to enter attachment, you click there, you click there, double click, and you can click add. Then you can choose the attachment here. Since you don't have a lot of images, just pick this one and then you click OK, and you click OK, and there you go. Let's add one more. So you click next, and we had one more student, and this student is supposed to be, let's have Titus. Admission number is 2006. Contact email address is Titus at yahoo.com. Now this is Titus, so you're going to have Titus it's supposed to be Titus Whiter. And origin, this is Titus comes from Kitengela. Gender is a male, so we take that one. Course, Titus is taking ICT level at a diploma level. Fees, Titus is paying 47,000. And date, Titus was admitted on date 23rd. Double click to pick a passport, click add, and then you pick a passport, and then you click open, then you click OK. Great, there you are. Wow, that was a really a length video lesson, but I believe we've covered really some good stuff and we're making significant progress. What I want us to do now, let's go back, let's see whether those two records we've added have already been added into the table, and then you're going to wrap up this lesson. I'm going to give you good time to practice, and then in the next lesson you're going to come back and I'll show you a new object. Remember, for today we've covered two objects. So let's close this one. Let's open now the table. In this case it's of students. Double click students. Here you are. You will notice now we have Titus and we have Rachel, and here are their details. So that is how you use form to add records in a table. Close this one, and there you are. So it's been a really lengthy video lesson, but we've really covered a lot. Here's a summary of what you've done today. You've learned how to create a database. You've learned how to create and design a table and how to enter records in a table. You've learned how to create a form and how to open the form in the design view and actually reshape the form and rearrange the form to look much more better. You've learned how to view records in your table using the form, how to add records in a table using the form, how to edit or update records in a table using the form. It's really covered a lot of work. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your time before we meet tomorrow. And my assumption here is you're taking one lesson every single day. If you're taking the lessons back to back, well and good. But for this lesson, we've really covered a lot. You're gonna need a lot of time to practice what you've done today. So take your time, practice everything that you've done here. Make sure you have a database like this one with staff table, student table, staff form, and student form, because we are going to pick from here next time. Once you created one like this one, you can open a new database of your choice, create your own for the purposes of practice. But when we come tomorrow, we are going to be using this database. Okay, so practice, get really good at this. We meet tomorrow. I am going to introduce you to a whole new object, and we call this object queries. I'm going to show you how we use queries to really get specific data that you want from our database. Until then, I wish you a good practice. I want you to really take your time. What we've covered today is very, very important. It's actually, if I can say, the most important part of learning how to read the database and work with it. Once you master this, the rest is going to be very easy. So take your time, practice, and I'll see you tomorrow as I introduce you to a new object. And then you're going to learn, how do I trace any given student from my database. Let's say, for instance, if you're working in a training institution and a student comes and you want to know more about them, like you want to know how much fee they have paid, all you need to go is go to your database, you ask them for their admission number. The moment they give you their admission number, I'll show you what you can do to your database to actually pull that specific information that you're looking for by using only the admission number. So great and interesting stuff are coming up tomorrow in the next video lesson. In the meantime, practice, and I'll see you tomorrow.